From Thom Hartmann's Daily Take Substack, The Oldest Warning Sign, How History Links the Death of Comedy to the Death of Democracy. The past teaches us the truth. When laughter dies, liberty soon follows. Published September 22nd, 2025.
They banned the laughter in 39. Apples drew the hard red line. 5 comedians silence broke because dictators can't take a joke. Dictators can't take a joke. The truth in laughter makes their power choke. From Hitler's stage to Trump's TV, they fear the punchline more than the enemy. When banners rise and freedoms fall, they come for humor first of all. Mock the crown, the mask, the cloak, and watch dictators start to choke. Dictators can't take a joke. The smallest laugh becomes the loudest smoke. History warns it's always the same. Silence the comics, then silence the flame. Cuts deeper than a sword. It speaks a truth they can't afford. So raise your voice, let the tyrants know you'll never kill the joke. Dictators can't take a joke. The world remembers every word they broke. When laughter dies, the night is long, but freedom rises in the people's song.
We've seen this movie before, or at least our grandparents did. Dictators can't take a joke. On February 4th, 1939, 7 months before the invasion of Poland kicked off World War II, the man with oversight responsibility for German media officially forbade 5 comedians from ever again performing in public. As a headline in New York Times explained, quote, Goebbels ended the careers of 5 Aryan actors who made witticisms about the Nazi regime, end quote. The crime, according to Goebbels, was publicly telling, quote, brazen, impertinent, arrogant, and tactless, end quote, jokes about the Fuhrer. Their humor, Goebbels told the press, was only appealed to the, quote, society rabble that followed them with thunderous applause, parasitic scum, inhabiting our luxury streets, that seem to have only the task of proving how little brains people can get along and even acquire money and prominence, end quote. The Times wrote that Goebbels and Hitler were particularly incensed that they caricatured and ridiculed Hitler's followers and the loyal toadies in his administration, end quote. What amused the public most, however, and presumably roiled the National Socialist authorities most, although Dr. Goebbels did not mention it, is that they deftly but unmistakably caricatured some gestures, poses, and physical characteristics of National Socialist leaders, sometimes with bon mots that made the rounds of the country, end quote. The Nazi leaders were furious, arguing that they had themselves had, the Times noted, quote, a keen sense of humor that could kill the opponents with ridicule, end quote. Instead of ordering the offending comedians executed, the Times added, they were simply rendered incapable of earning a living in their chosen profession. Quote, but as National Socialism proposes to remain in power for 2,000 years, it has neither the time nor the patience to apply that method to the, quote, miserable literati, end quote. FCC, Federal Censorship Commission, Chairman Brendan Carr, seems to be following in Garble's footsteps, having implicitly threatened Disney ABC with two groups of TV station affiliates with regulatory intervention to block multi-million-dollar mergers if they didn't take Jimmy Kimmel off the air. CBS's roiling over when Trump was offended by Stephen Colbert appears to have emboldened the administration to go after other comedians. Trump himself, meanwhile, was blunt about how, quote, illegal, end quote, it is for people on television to criticize him. And he wasn't just talking about comedians, specifically, calling out, quote, newscasts, end quote, that will presumably be Carr's next target. Quote, I'm a very strong person for free speech, but 97, 94, 95, 96% of the people are against me in the sense of the newscasts are against me. The stories are, they said, 97% bad, so they gave me 97. They'll take a great story, and they'll make it bad. See, I think that it's really illegal, personally, end quote. Meanwhile, Trump has sent soldiers into the streets of 3 American cities, purged federal museums of information about slavery and discrimination against minorities and women, and just posted what may have been meant to be a private, direct message demanding that Attorney General Pam Bondi begin prosecuting his political enemies. Along those same authoritarian lines, 3 major federal buildings in Washington, D.C., now sport massive new banners with Trump's face glowering down on people walking or driving by. Paid for with your tax dollars, the banners violate federal law, according to a report released by Senator Adam Schiff. Georgia Democratic Congressman Hank Johnson was blunt in his critique. Quote, when I saw the banners hanging from the federal office buildings last week, it reminded me of the Communist Party in China and banners hanging from federal offices. Just totally inappropriate and a step toward authoritarianism. It's another indication of the march that we're on toward authoritarianism in this country, end quote. Will anybody on network television be willing this week to tell, quote, brazen, impertinent, arrogant, and tactless, end quote, jokes about the Saddam Hussein-like banners? Stay tuned.